What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is full moon time once again. I'm going to start with our cards as always. So our manifestation that we are going to be working on for this full moon is to embrace the flow of life, being that we are a full moon in Gemini. I want to put this now at the bottom of that little pile I've got there. And then the rest of our oracle cards. Once again, full moon, surrendering to the divine. We are a mutable moon, so at the moment nothing is yet set in stone. It is Gemini, so the answers you need are coming. If you've been asking a question of the universe, those answers are on the way this full moon. And then, because of how everything's worked out, Gemini is currently our north node until I think it was midway through January when I did a little bit of research. So we are actually in our north node at the moment. So we need to step out of our comfort zones. And on top of that, we're currently still in Sagittarius season, which is our south node. So we're not supposed to let our past hold us back. And all of these come together in such a way where it really sort of tells us, especially with our manifestation, embracing the flow of life, nothing is set yet. You've been asking the universe one or two, maybe, really important sort of spiritual questions, even if you don't consciously realize it. These questions are probably still just in the back of your mind. Those answers are coming to you, the outcomes of which, so once you have that information, what you do with those and the outcomes of that are not currently set in stone, but it will be something that will sort of force you to step out of your current comfort zone and sort of leave something in the past and not allow it to hold you back, all while doing the most basic thing for a full moon and letting it show you what's coming for you. So really exciting time coming up. Yeah, so our full, I think it's around about our full moon in January where we actually change like where we actually switch into the next north node, like the next lunar nodal pattern, because they're about 18 months long. So lots of big shifts coming. The last big shift was about halfway through 2020, and that was when, for the US, a lot of businesses and stuff started to open back up after the pandemic. At the moment, it was only half a week ago that New South Wales sort of dropped all of its restrictions on COVID. So we're starting to come back into the world. International travel's coming back. There's a lot of things that are returning worldwide because of this tonal shift. And we put that energy on top of the full moon in Gemini and what that's going to do for certain signs and how it's going to interact with how they feel on a spiritual and mental, emotional level. It's really quite an exciting time. So going on to our little site, link in the description, it starts off by saying, coming in like a breath of fresh air to the heat of Sagittarius season, the cold full moon will greet us warmly in Gemini, December 19th, 2021, which is today at 12:37 a.m. It says here, Australian Eastern Standard Time. I've seen other ones where it said that 100% wasn't until 3:30 this afternoon. Either way, I checked only about 10 minutes ago. It's still at 100% as I record this. So I'm actually recording this under a full moon for once. So you'll be ready to heat things up as the social and mental sector of your life will be activated in full swing. So as per the Zen teachings of the Farmer's Almanac, the name Cold Moon is owed to the fact that this full moon takes place in December, which for most people is the first month of December and the month in which the winter solstice occurs, giving it its other name, the long night moon. The reason it's also called the oak moon is more of a Norse Celtic history, in which the Oak King was in charge, sort of thing, over this time of year. I believe that's correct, and it's not the Holy King. It might be the Holy King, and it's the other way around. Either way, oaks are seen as evergreens, and it was oaks and pines that they would bring into their homes, giving us the Christmas tree tradition. But back then it was thought that by doing so they were preserving the life force of the world that they could then return once the solstice had ended. So yeah, given the fact the half the world is currently in hibernation, it makes for a fully charged and vibrant completion of the lunar cycles. So during this time, we're encouraged to move past our emotional barriers in order to find access to our inner warmth and creativity, even if we feel more comfortable crawling back into a cozy antisocial shell. And that's not antisocial as in like antisocial behavior, but antisocial just as in not socializing. So what we can expect from our full moon, being that it is in a Gemini, our master of all communications will be back to working at its optimum level after the eclipse season struck some discord to this particular air sign. This marks the first non-eclipse lunation that we've experienced in Gemini since December of 2019, actually. We can feel a weight lift as we shift back to some calmer mental waters. This full moon in Gemini is also occurring, also on top of everything else, the day before Venus retrograde in Capricorn tomorrow. The last time we experienced this particular energy release was 8 years ago, so some themes and events pertaining to that time may resurface in your life. So Venus represents relationships, I've lost my spot, material wealth, justice and harmony, while Capricorn rules structure, authority and tradition. And so collectively, this makes it a good time to put focus back on your wealth and creating structured forms of financial planning, and just generating money in general, or rather putting capital aside for things. Over the past 2 years, we've accumulated a lot of new information in the area of our birth chart governed by Gemini, coming out of the dark underbelly of Scorpio season at the end of last month, which pulled focus on healing our inner emotions. We can finally start to put these issues behind us and focus on what is working in our communications and day-to-day lives. At its peak, this full moon will make peace with all the newfound information we've accumulated over these last 2 years, and it will, more importantly, show us how we can put these into daily practice. All these new things that we've picked up and now know about. It's also a great time to reflect on how we want to rework our day-to-day routines and schedules. Things like planning appointments, writing lists, whatever those might be, even if it's simple as just writing shopping lists, working on your schedules. All of these things will come much easier to us, and we will feel that same sort of energy circle back around to us in abundance. So not only are we reworking how, what we spend time on and where we spend that time, and reprioritizing everything, but everyone else that you might value in your life is probably going to be reprioritizing you as well. For better or for worse, it doesn't really matter, but you will feel that same energy come back to you. So basically, prioritize the things that you feel are most important for yourself, because those are the things that are going to reprioritize you at a higher level as well. So which signs will be most affected? As always, with any mercurial full moon, which is anyone in Gemini or Virgo, you can expect a ripple through the mutable signs, which also includes Sagittarius and Pisces. So Gemini will be particularly affected, being that it's in the first house of outer self. As a result, your physical body may be feeling pulled through the mud, with headaches and head colds becoming more common than usual. You can also be expected to talk a lot more. With this influx of information coming in, you will need a way to process it all. And going back to your physical body is going to get pulled through the mud. There's a lot of outer self stuff going on, being the first house. Geminis are an air sign, so they're very logical and sort of in that mental space. Your mental processes, your thoughts, are going to be expressed into the outer world. You're going to be communicating more. But that makes this a particularly good time for socialization, just in time for the holiday season and all of your family to finally catch up after lockdowns and everything else start to ease, all the way to basically non-existent again. Thank God. So yeah, it's a particularly good time for socialization, and you may find that your holiday party vocabulary will be taken up a few notches. You are known, Geminis, for your sparkling wit, so that will also be felt quite strongly across the board. Virgo will also be greatly impacted. Again, it's Gemini's mercurial sister sign. Virgo is ruled by the 6th house, which is the one of acts and service and meticulous planning. So there may be a focus for Virgos to put a focus on keeping up with their day-to-day activities, as well as their health habits in particular. Rest will be important to you, Virgos, and coming into the new year, you may be poised to start either a new fitness routine or a new healthcare routine, or a bit of both, depending on the individual in question. For Pisces and Sagittarius, our other middle signs, you guys will be right up in your creative dream-seeking feels. For Pisces, there may be a need to plunge into your into your little pond of escapism, my little fishies, and that escapism could be, and is most likely going to be, you making your visual dreams finally come to life. Now, whether this is a creative outlet with you painting or sewing or doing pottery or whatever it might be, or you finally building your dream home, or getting your having your life look the way you want it to, whatever that means to you. Having your visual dreams finally come to life, whatever that sentiment means to you, now is the time to do that. You are in your creative mind right now. You are quite an emotional sign, being a water sign, so you know what you know what you want your life to look and feel like, so you can be highly attuned to that right now. And with your escapism, you're basically going to be able to make whatever that visual dream is, you're going to be able to, you know, essentially put that into your life, giving you a small getaway within your day-to-day, which could be kind of cool. So that really just depends on what that visual dream is for you in particular. For Sagittarius, there's going to be a need to take a much needed break after all of this. The end of Sagittarius season is quite imminent. It's only another, I think, like 2 or 3 days away. So after all of that, you guys are going to be able to take a much needed break. And with this full moon peaking in your 7th house, human connection will be one of the most important things to you coming into the new year, and romance may not be far behind that as well. So yeah, you're going to have a nice little holiday over the Christmas New Year period, and then in the new year, it very likely that you may make a romantic connection with somebody, which is really exciting. So lots happening in the cosmos, and it's all in our favor. So yeah, hopefully it means good things for you. I hope it doesn't bring too much negativity to you, if any at all. I hope it is predominantly and significantly a positive change for you, especially after the last 2 years or more. So yeah, but with that, this video has come to an end. So if you are new here, please hit the subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. While you're up there, please also ring that notification bell. It turns on the push notifications so you can be kept up to date when I upload new videos. Once again, link in the description down below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And until next time, guys, keep your head screwed on.